Well, here is the upper meadow full of poppies, which is what you see when you drive in to Bon Repos. And over here is the front entry. It was all overgrown and weedy a few years ago, but now it is making a veritable garden. And this New Zealand tea tree right here, the crimson tree, is really coming into its own. It has beautiful blooms. And so we'll go in the front gate and see what we can see. There's the pathway to the apartment in the shop building. And we have missed the wisteria. It's already through its bloom cycle, but we didn't miss the roses down below. And here are some little roses hiding back here in this little secret corner. And you can see them from this side too. And this is the archway, which we haven't mounted yet, but that is the way that we enter the orchard. And this is the front pathway to the house. And there's a wide view of the lawn and the garden beds surrounding it. Let's go down here and see what we can see. Here are the peonies that Sophia loves so much. And this one has really opened up a lot. I hope the camera stays in focus. There's another peony bush right here. And some verbena. And the orchard trees in the background there. And there's some lilies that are now 5 feet tall, and they will finish out at around 8 or 9 feet, believe it or not. And this beautiful climbing rose. And here is a chocolate rose, which is really a lovely flower. And then we have Cecil Brunner roses, this huge bush that has fallen over, and we have to raise it up and build an arbor under it. And here is the arch that leads on down to the house. But we'll walk around this garden just a little bit more. Here is another beautiful rose. We have 3 of these bushes. This is called Playboy, and it is definitely a player. There's 2 more coming up here. They're really profuse bloomers. And we have a stand of yellow iris. A lot of the other irises have bloomed and died already, but we have a few that are still doing their magic right there. And some pale blue and lavenders or violet colors ones right here. Yeah. And this rose over here is really an amazing plant. It blooms up into almost to Christmas. And it is really an amazing plant. And then we have that other rose right up there. That is called a Just Joey. And it has an amazing fragrance and an amazing bloom. then just behind that stand of lilies over there are a couple of more roses. And that tree right there is a Solangiana magnolia, and that is Carl's tree. And this is Carl's garden, which isn't finished, but this is Sophia's lavender rose, I believe, and a couple of transplants that are not doing too well yet, but they will. And we have to build a stone wall around this garden to contain it, which we will get. And there's some roses in the background disguising the water tank. So let's see how we're doing here. We'll go back this way. There are the playboys again. And here is a loropetalum that we transplanted recently, which will get 3 times that large when it's completed its cycle. Here's some more of those lovely peach-colored irises. Oh, and here's a bearded iris. Really beautiful. Very beautiful flower. And some sweet williams and catmint that the cats love to play in, and they eat it. And this is a smoke tree. Its blooms look like puffs of smoke, and they come later in the summer. And then we have these wonderful roses on the fence in the background, which are blooming profusely. So now we're inside the garden right in front of the house, and let's see what we see over here. Here's another loropetalum. It's not quite mature yet, but it's getting close. And there's a rhododendron there on the left, and the archway with the collapsed rosebush, which we're going to elevate next week and tie it back up. And here is a Daphne odora, which we've recently transplanted, and in a couple of years it will be as large as this Daphne odora, which has been here for 4 or 5 years and is extremely happy. So let's see what we got here. I think I will go this way, down the front steps. And there's the front door to the house right there, with the big clematis climbing up the wall. And some more climbing roses that are blooming profusely up there. Beautiful pink blooms. And here is a little pond in front of the house, gurgling away. And here's some blue star creeper. It's a nice little ground cover, and a lovely azalea in the background, still blooming away this late in the spring. And let's see. I think we'll go down and just take a quick look at the pool. There's the smoke tree again, and here is the arch that leads us down to the pool area, and it's now slowly being engulfed by this rose we planted a couple of years ago. So we'll go down these steps here carefully. It's the only way I can go these days. And there's Peter Rabbit. He's waiting for a new paint job. His clothes kind of got worn off, so we're going to have to repaint him. And there's a view of the swimming pool and the garden that surrounds it. And then let's look back here. This is the stairs that lead up to the rear deck of the house, where there's another entry. And then this is a top view of the terraces of the vegetable garden, which have recently been cleaned out. And then we have this area here that is under construction. It was just a huge weed patch not so long ago. We're reclaiming it, and it's going to be wildflowers and some native native plants, drought-tolerant plants, and there are Aram's 4 beehives down there, and a nice big guava tree we transplanted, and then this tree right here is a flowering cherry that Claire is fond of. And there's the goat pen with no goats in it, but maybe they'll come back someday. And there's the cat examining the raspberries. I hope they pass inspection. And there's the other side of the vegetable garden. So now let's go back around the front. See what we see. Oh, this is kind of interesting. Here are some delphiniums. They are at least 8 feet tall. They're not supposed to come back, but they do. So the roses on the arch and all along the fence. On here's a nice bed of lavenders. Only one of them is blooming yet, but they're coming in. And they will flourish during the summer. Let's go around here again. Giving you the cook's tour. There's a new deck that we put last year at this time on the cottage because the old deck rotted completely off and fell down, and we had to replace it, unfortunately, but it's now going to last a long time. So then this used to be a pond with water in it, but we took the water out and we just filled it with gravel and nice pebbles. So it gives the look of water without the maintenance problems. And then here's a new clematis vine we just put on this to climb on this deck railing. It's brand new, but it'll be solid next year. And this area is under construction. We just set this fence back about 8 feet a couple of weeks ago, and made this area much bigger here. And we took out a lot of plants in this empty bed here, the guava and a bunch of other plants that were competing with each other. So this remains to be planted, but you'll see progress shots of this later on, and you'll see how beautiful this is going to be. So I thought I would just finish up in the nursery where this was the original secret garden, and it's still sort of a secret garden, but it's really the nursery where plants go to recover, awaiting transplanting back into the main garden. There we go. And there's a jasmine, still blooming profusely. And here are all the little babies in here, all blooming and happy as clams. But we're going to set probably half of these out during the next couple of weeks. They will go out front. There's a lemon and an apple tree that has just finished blooming, and quite a host of plants back here that we will put into the garden very soon. So here's a little calla lily still trumpeting away, and this is our work area here where we transplant things and store all our plant amendments and fertilizers and so on. So let's just end on this beautiful jasmine right here. There you go. That's Bon Repos 2012.